It's yet another wonderful day, fellow Nigerians across the globe. Of course, I am George Onyibe. I am from Agbo. I am a Ka man. I am not Igbo man. But this having been said, I want us to quickly look at a message I titled, "The Greatest Challenge to Nigerian Sovereignty is the issue of insecure people." As a Nigerian, you will understand that in so many arenas, you're having challenges because of insecure set of individuals. There are insecure set of politicians. You see them fighting. You see them dragging. You see them trying to prove that they are the people's mandate. Even when it is obvious they are not needed, they are not wanted, they will insist. These are insecure people. You go to the religious sector, a lot of insecure people out there. Even in family, so many people are insecure. And what leads to this insecurity? Complex nature of the society, of the family, of institution, among ethnic groups. What led to it? Insecure people are people who are first of all riddled by inferiority complex. Because they are insecure, they don't know how their tomorrow will be. They feel they will lose out in the end. This idea, this formation is baited by people who don't know their worth, or people who don't have worth, people with inferiority complex. And this leads to them looking for validation. And in the process of trying to get validation, authentication, that they are who they are not, they become toxic. And so talking about insecure people, do not look just at their hopelessness, because they live by fear. They live by assumption. They live by what people will say. They are never secured. And like I have rightly told you, this motion, this mentality is giving birth to the idea that of inferiority complex. And once this process is completed, they have accepted it, they know the truth, they will move on to begin to look for validation. In the process of looking for validation, they become toxic. And believe me, if you do not address them, they will destroy you. Look at toxic marriage. One partner will have to die if it is not properly addressed. Look at the nation as a society or social institution. Because the issue of insecure people has not been properly addressed. That is why you see from one bandit to another, one bandit to another, because we do not actually concentrate on them, treat them, put them where they belong, and say they go about meeting other insecure people to create more bandits. Politically, it is the same thing. Most of them in the marriage sector are those, for instance, women who claim they know their rights. And somebody rightly say, 90% of women who claim they know their rights are insecure people, and they are not in their husband's place. Like they said, they are jumping from one bed to another to prove that they know their rights. All these things, if you understand what I mean, lead to insecurity. At the end, they become toxic. Now, coming back to the issue of Nigeria as a sovereign nation, being mesmerized by insecure people, it is better we go deep down, I create scenario for you to understand it. Some ethnic groups in Nigeria are very insecure. They lived in the past and have failed to accept the truth that they have been accepted. About 40% of those who claim Nigeria, who claim they are majority, who claim they are the owner of this country, were never part of this country. In an attempt to cover their past history, they are deliberately trying to get the people's validation, trying to force the people into caricature to accept that they are who they are not. In an attempt for them to remain relevant, which is not an issue to us, they will battle you fault and nail. And so when you see some people, like these Igbo people who say they are Biafra, everybody must be Biafra, everybody, it's not as if they don't have shame. These are insecure set of human beings, and this is why. In about 1807, Denmark was the first country before 1807 to abolish slave trade. And then in 1807, other countries follow suit. Before 1808, the United Kingdom, British, joined the League. But it took time for the issue of slavery to be totally abolished, because it lingered till 1934. So in 1934, there were still a bunch of slaves scattered across Africa. From the Arabian slave market, to the Portuguese, to the Francophone, to the Anglophone, different slave merchandise, most of which are religion people. Now understand how it all began. There were a set of people today who claim their world power. Hunger was killing them in their continent, in their region, in their country, in their supreme nation, and they needed to survive. And so they started sending out some of their men to look for how to survive, which is not something wrong. And finally, they arrived in Africa. They saw the vegetation. They saw the food. They saw the civilization. They saw everything they needed to survive. And so they came in as a trader. Many of them discovered our liberality, our transparency, our freedom, and trampled upon it. We welcomed them, we accepted them, we embraced them. We are all human. But little did we know that this set of insecure people who call themselves the colonial master were up to no good. They are insecure people till tomorrow morning. I'm coming. And so bit by bit, they deceived our people. But we were not suspicious of them. And so they started buying our land. Did you not hear Emmanuel Macron telling you that he is the owner of, France is the owner of about 20 countries in Africa? In other words, 20 prisons in Africa. They are not my concern. You hear them claiming they own us. It's amazing. These are people whose forefathers were dying of hunger before we found ourselves in this mess. Because we refuse to talk. Because we refuse to treat their stupidity, their hopelessness, their shame and their vanity. Let's continue. And so, like in the case of Nigeria, you have a man whose name was obliterated from history. They were warned never to mention the name of the man. He bought Nigeria. Because by the time you begin to look into the treaty agreement he signed with the indigenous people of Nigeria, it will counter the narrative that has been projected out about what the colonial master did. From Lord Lugard to Maforson to Richard, And so for so many reasons, you will never know the name of the man who owns Royal Niger Company. Royal Niger Company who said he bought Nigeria. I dare them to bring out the document. Somebody actually wrote on the fence along the line and gave the history of the man. But they still suppress it. So you will never know who is behind the Royal Niger Company. Because if you lay hand on that document, you will discover that the Nigerian paraded by the British. It's all scam. But I'm coming. It's their insecurity. That is their vanity. And when they saw the deal that was struck with the owner of the Royal Niger Company, somehow was favoring the two party. Because that is why most Ijaw people in the ancient time were billionaires. Because somewhere along the line, it is their territory that is the point of exchange, trade and commerce. And then they went back to where they were coming from and believed that, no, we need to strike a harder bargain. These people are porous. These people, they don't know what is happening. They teamed together. And they said, instead of us buying this kola nut, this palm oil, this granite, this timber, whatever they were looking for in Africa, don't you think we'll buy them to come and help us plant it? Because they can't plant. Forget about this noise they are making. I'm coming. That was what gave birth to the era of slave trade. So it was cheaper, instead of carrying 1,000 bags of corn that will exhaust in 1 year, it is better you carry 1,000 bunch of slaves that will work for you in 100 years, producing 1,000 bunch of corn on monthly basis. It was a real big deal for them. They switch. And so when they come to buy corn, they buy human. When they come to buy palm oil, they buy human. They were smuggling it. They were doing it underground. It was an experiment. And then as time goes on, there was no need to come and buy anything in Africa because they could plant it wherever they come from. That is what they did across the globe. But I'm focusing on Nigeria. You have something they need, they converted it to slavery. And so, innocent people, believe me, if you are a slave, first of all, understand it's not your fault. And so people, as you see kidnappers today, unknown gunmen, Eastern Security of Nnamdi Kanu, Boko Haram, all these criminals, they are insecure people. That is how it began. So when you have issue with somebody, you kidnap the person, you go to the slave trade market and sell the person. And so, with time, you don't know who is who. Because before or during this era, you recognize African tribe either by their mark or by their hairstyle or by their dressing. You will know in those days there is a way we breed our hair. You will know this is a Yoruba person, this is Igbo person, this is Agbo person, this is Bini person. We have facial mark. It's amusing, most of my Agbo people don't know. My great-grandmother was the Nyese of Umunede. And I saw her. There were marks on her skin like that of cashew. She was said to come from the royal family of Umunede. And in case you are from Umunede, you're doubting what I'm saying. Me onwa chano, me onwa Nyese, nwa tunke, Mwosunde. And I'm sure if you trace this name, you will know the lineage I'm talking about. Those of you from Idumuileje and Idumuile, you should understand. The ancient family that owns Ubumode. But let's leave it at that. And so you recognize them by distance. And so what did they start doing? They start shaving their head. They begin to disfigure them. And so it was not easy to know where they come from anymore. After all, some people were being kidnapped in Yoruba land. And then they bring them to Ijaw land. Some people were kidnapped from where you call Igbo land today. And then they take them to Ijaw land. All these people, when you hear the bite of Biafra, the bite of Benin, and the rest of them, these were locations where they target to buy sheep. And so it is possible that even some that were kidnapped in the north, these people were indigenous people, but their life was taken from them. Most of them had communal crisis. Most of them are children of their neighbor. And so over time, they were dumped in different slave camps across Africa. You see the one in Badagry. You see the one they call the gate of no return, and many others. Some of them could spend up to 1 year waiting for ship to arrive before they take them God knows where. But this is where the whole thing began to have a shift. And one day, some conscious, insecure people have conscience, and they felt this should not be so. And some people begin to fight to stop slave trade because they understand there is no need to turn your fellow human being into a beast of burden. And with time, the campaign goes on and slavery died. And when slavery was dying, they still need to survive because they are insecure people. They discovered oil. It is oil that finally breaks the camel back. They discover gold and all that things. And so ask them, why are they coming to Africa? They must steal our gold. They must steal our silver. They must steal our gas and oil. They must steal everything stealable. And they are still looking for what to steal. And these are the world power. These are the people who say what happened and what does not happen. These are insecure people. And so after slavery has ended, there are locations you have camp. When I mean slave camp where a particular trader has bought, maybe, you know, people who buy goods, people who buy chicken. If you go to motor park, like Ido Motor Park in Lagos, if you go to different motor park where they do interstate transport, moving of goods and commodity, you will see those who are going to transport plastic have their department. Those who are going to move cow have where they load their cow, just like that. And so there were certain locations within the current day south, and southeast, where they used to keep slaves, human beings like me and you, like cow. They will fence them around, chain them, tie them like animals. And then the market has been prohibited. Nobody should do that again. And so what do they do with these slaves? But they knew they still have a nation to conquer, a people to conquer, manipulate and use. That is when they now came in a different identity. Do not forget that the Anglican Church, the Catholic Church, all of them have hand in slavery. The first slave ship that came to Africa, his name is Jesus Christ. And if we begin to mention some name of company that still exists today, but these people were deeply millionaires as a result of human trafficking under the slave era. So now that slave trade has been abolished, they still want to maintain their influence because of some of the properties they have bought. Don't forget, a man known as Port Harcourt bought Port Harcourt. But who sold it to him? These are some of the things you will never hear. But let's move on. So they gather these slaves who do not know where they come from again. It's not their fault. They don't know where they come from. They are across every camp in Nigeria. Not just in Nigeria, the whole of Africa. Go and look at 99.9% of those who are claiming to be African founding father. Most of them don't know their parents. Till tomorrow, 99.9% of them don't know their parents. They just wake up one day because of the power they have amassed. They now say, I am from this place. And everybody takes it that way. But of course, once they dish it into the search engine, Wikipedia, Cyclopedia, Opocopedia, Googlepedia, AIpedia, once they push it there, it becomes authentic. So they brought in Samuel Ajayi Crowther when it comes to the case of Nigeria, alongside other, what do you call them, missionaries. And so it was harmless, but they were doing very dangerous work. They gave them settlement in different communities and taught them politics of the colonial master. That is where you begin to hear when they teach you system of government. They tell you autocracy, Urubocracy, Agaracracy, democracy, Damaracracy, all this crazy. Based on what their policy represents, they teach those people. The British policy was indirect rule. They did not have to be here to rule us. They pick a bunch of these slaves, teach them well. This is the part they will not like. And then impose them on the people. After all, insecure people, working with insecure people is not an issue. This is the bitter truth. But if you don't solve it, you are not insecure because it's what you want. You are insecure because you fail to accept the truth. Your arrogance and your pride is your problem. And so these people who thought their life is gone. There is an adage in my place. He say, "Nwogbenye iho dafen onikwa. Nwogbenye henyo dafen onikwa." When a poor man become a rich man, all of you are in trouble. That is the trouble we are facing in Nigeria today. Those who do not have land, I do not telling you we own here, we own you, we own you. Those who cannot chop, I do not tell you we are the richest, we are the most intelligent. Those whose land are barren are looking for your land now. Insecure bunch of individuals. And now, like I was saying, they taught these people. Honestly, Samuel Ajayi Crowther, some Yoruba told me they are not sure he's a Yoruba man. They are still looking into it. It is not clear, but let's say he's a Yoruba man. He did his job very well in our region. And then all of a sudden, we begin to hear Yoruba people, Hausa people, Igbo people. But they were not there before. Some people were incorporated into the British policy of indirect rule. But by now, these people should be secured. Now we agree there are Yoruba people. Now we agree there are Igbo people. But most of you will know that before the arrival of the British, nobody was called Igbo. Because they are my major concern in this discussion. We agree there are Hausa people. But we never heard about Fulani people. But we agree all of them are there. And so they begin to rule. Some of the original Aborigine people refuse. Because I will not want you to tell me how to live in my father's land. That is their problem. The Oba of Benin control massive Benin Empire. And how will you tell him to come and control one community and he will be happy? This is his land. He does not need you to defend him. He wants all his land back. He become an enemy. You have the Nana of Ishekiri who control the entire Ijaw nation today. They are hiding the history of that man, but that is their business. They will not tell you Olu of Wore. They will never tell you about Nana of Ishekiri. And that is why today, Urobo Ishekiri, Ule, Abraka, Patani, Okreka, Kalabare, all the Ijaw Azis, they're still trying to agree who is who and who is not who. It's not your fault. It's okay. Anyhow you like to. People like Nana of Shekiri, who control a vast land mass You can't tell him, okay, this is your father's estate. We are giving you security house. And you expect them to be quiet. The fourth, people like the Ato of Igala, the fourth. And they were slaves coming from north, west, south, and east to take over the life, the original indigene of the land. But they cannot prevail. And so over time, they were overwhelmed. The Ato of Igala today is politically irrelevant. Just that the stool of that monarch cannot be desecrated. It still stands tall based on principle, dignity that is uncompromising. People like the Oba of Benin are not politically relevant. But yet, the strength of the dynasty transcends, and its present, the sovereignty of a nation can diminish. This is not to blow his ego. They may not be politically relevant, but those in power will not risk their life to do certain things. They know. There were a particular time, most of them were fighting Ato of Igala. Everywhere Ato of Igala. Everywhere Ato of Igala. If I tell you the history before they back off, you will be shocked. I'm sure Obasanjo know what I'm talking about. I'm sure most of you will know that governor after governor, all of them were having problems. To the extent that they have a governor who cannot come out and talk in the public because he's going to run mad. We're going here. Now let me not digress further. But those who were slaves and has been incorporated into the French policy of colonization or the British policies of colonization or your Portuguese or whatever country you are, they will accept. Who am I? I don't know where I come from. I don't know my village anymore. I don't even know my family member. And then I am offered to be the director of an estate. Me that was heading to slavery. Me that was heading to death. Me that has been on chain. Do you know what it is? They grabbed the opportunity. They had the military strength. They have the backing of the international community. And so they started colonizing us. Not with the original owners of the land, but with the slaves that they could not ship for slavery. And now they metamorphosed them to doing their bid in the current dispensation of politics. So these people, each time they remember, when we talk stories like this, they will sit back and say, these people know the truth. Oh. We have to do something. We have to do something. Because if we don't do something and this truth sell out, we will have problem. That is where the issue of insecure people come in. We have to do something. Today, the Arochukwu man, the Izzi man, the Ikwo man, the Abakaliki man, the Ngwa man, they used to say they are not Igbo. These Aborigine people, so many of them, have been conquered. They don't know how. They now accept that, okay, we are Igbo. The slaves outnumber them. And the slave controls them. The real original Bo people. You hear them by Provincetown. And that is why when you see those from the east, if you see come against what Igbo Biafra people are doing, they will kill you. Because they are insecure. You cannot expose them. Let me explain something further. Let's go to Nnamdi Kanu village, Abia State. If you are from Bende, if you are from Item, go and ask your father the history of Iberi people. They were not from that place. The village of Ojuzokalo, Tio Oji, Iberi. Go and ask your fathers if you still know them. Bende people, Ndi Item. How did Ibere come there? That land was given to them. Something happened at one night. And that thing that happened that night changed their life forever. But without the presence of Alesoti and the ex-governor, Ukizie Ekpazo, and I'm sure the rest of them are from Ibere. And so if you know the process that brought Iberi to the land of Item people, to the land of Bende people, and for a very long time they were the one producing your governors, even when they are not original, part of that society, you will understand what I'm telling you. So with time, when we begin to discover the truth, these Igbo people who are Biafra said, what do? We can't keep quiet. Let's begin to distort the history. That is this history they are trying to change. And if you are a person, you are Okwane person, you are Enuane person, you buy it, you are helping the insecure people to get the validation they crave for. Because that is what they want. If we come and say, oh, yes, Igbo, you are gone. We were there before they came. They should accept the fact that we are not them and they are not we. And I still thank Samuel Ajayi Crowther. He did his job well. A job well done. And so in an attempt to prove that they are the original owner, they were not slaves. They are the landlord. That is all this booga you are seeing. They must conquer all of us. They must subdue all of us. Look at kidnappers, Boko Haram bandits in the north, who are killing indigenous people right there in Benue, taking over their land. Do you think if that land belongs to them, they will have to kill somebody to take their land? No. They will only have to stop and say, you can't come to my land. It's you who is stealing land that is killing people. Because the person knows that if we review, they will know the original owner of the land. And so today, the real indigene of the old eastern region, 99.9% of them have been silent. It is those slaves, some of which metamorphosed from Kilimanjaro. When Igbo Biafra tell you they come from Equatorial Guinea, they come from Israel, they come from Saudi Arabia, they come from Egypt, they come from Kenya, they come from Malaysia, they come from Petemutoto, Sumia, all the country we don't know their name. Don't doubt them. Because you don't know where the ship brought them for. But look at the toxic they are injecting into the system. All these things is to cover their true identity. This should not be too difficult for you to discern. When you see a woman that constantly challenges the husband, that woman is insecure. Believe me, that woman is seeing another man she feels is better than the husband. And somewhere along the line, want to get rid of the husband and then switch. When you see your girlfriend start finding faults in everything you do, that girl is not with you anymore. She's now insecure. She's just looking for an excuse to switch. And so when you see them coming around deliberately telling you, oh yes, you are this one, they're looking for support because they will strike. They're looking for validation. Watch this Igbo Biafra, how they function, and align them with what I'm telling you. They mistakenly add me into one of their forum. They don't know I'm still there. It's not just only one. So many of their forum. I am there. I see all the plans they make. In fact, one of their plans now is that those Igbo people who have planned to organize a protest against Nnamdi Kanu, they are looking for all of them. In that meeting, I will not tell you the time, but I know they said it in many of their group. That those Igbo people who are going to testify against Nnamdi Kanu en masse, who are part of the people doing protest against Nnamdi Kanu in Abuja, they are looking for you already. Chinasa Nwuru post a Twitter message, X handle, regarding that effect. After this broadcast, I will take a screenshot of it and post it for you. Telling the Igbo Biafra people of IPOB to get ready for what is to come so that they will not be moved. And so they may descend on their people who already know the truth, that Nnamdi Kanu is a criminal, so that they will silence the truth. But all they are looking for is validation. It has damaged their sense of reasoning. That is why as we speak today, once you say, oh, Igbos are wonderful, they are happy, but they know their problem to themselves. But those who will say otherwise, they will be compromised in 10 hours. And so not until we, who are the original owners of our land inside one Nigeria, begin to tell them who they are and where they belong, we will have problem. I've been to Elele, where a young man comes out and says, see me, I'm a Hausa man, and I'm from Elele. He was saying it confidently, boldly, Elele in Imo State. And I asked somebody, I say, do we have Hausa people indigenous in Elele? He said, yes. I said, how did they come here? And he said somewhere along the line, they were being terrorized by wild animal. Some Hausa people that came helped them to kill the wild animal. Some Kokaboo story, they gave them land and they become one. But over time, these people believe they are indigenous. And let's say they are indigenous. But they cannot have the same rights with the people who gave them that land. And in the nearest future, if care is not taken, those Hausa people will take over political position from the real indigenous of that community. To them, they don't have problem. Am I saying they should start fighting? No. The earlier they tell them, this is the level we can get to. You design it for them, the better for all of them. And so when you talk about insecurity, these people affiliation is divided. Because number one, they are Hausa. Number two, they are now Elele. When there is something to benefit from Elele, they benefit. And when there is something to benefit from Hausa, they will benefit. But you that is original indigenous, you just one way. And remember, two captains cannot be in a ship. And so by the time you are shouting, oh, we are Igbo people, we are Igbo, Igbake is Igbo, everybody is Igbo. This is the switch there. You are just who you are. You are just one. But there will be Igbo at the same time. And there will be Agbo at the same time. There will be Igbo at the same time. There will be Godomigodo at the same time. There will be Igbo at the same time. And there will be Esha at the same time. There will be Igbo at the same time. And there will be Idoma at the same time. There will be Igbo and there will be all of us. Automatically, they have developed the power of mutation, making them invincible. And when they get to that level, all of you are gone. So they are afraid, number one, so that you don't know their true history. They succeeded in ridiculing and rubbishing all the ethnic groups in the southeast of current-day geopolitical zone. And about a half of the current-day South-South would have been in the same mess if not that another region was created. And now, they are not satisfied with the ethnic groups they have almost destroyed in the southeast. They are shifting their madness, their toxic, into the south-south and even north-central. If they have not reached the southwest. And so the point now is that in the effort to infiltrate and impersonate the original people, they have become toxic. No, watch my platform. Whether I call them, whether I don't call them, you must see them. Because there are things I will say that will point out to their hopelessness. And then they will attack me. It's to distract you. Now they are toxic people. They have to deal with it. But to cut the long story short, to save ourselves from these toxic, insecure people who constantly cause for validation, we must begin to set up structure. I keep telling you, where we will tell them their true history, where we will tell them where they belong, where we will revisit this issue once and for all, so that the next generation of our people cannot be manipulated. I gave you a simple example. I say Orji Zokalo, Tio Orji, both of them are from Umbere. I say that land of Umbere people in Abia State originally belonged to Ndi Item, the area you call Bende in Abia State. No, Igbo blogger, please go and investigate. It takes a progressive-minded Abia man for Alesoti to be there. It's not even Igbo. When I tell you Alesoti is not even Igbo, what I mean is that he knows his history in Arochukwu, and he knows his history in Isialangwa, and he knows the reason he chose to live in Isialangwa instead of him to live in Arochukwu. And moreover, he's a Rivers man. Somehow, his children are river people. Somehow, he has learned and adapted the value of non-toxic people. And that is why you see, his life is not like Skalewa of Igbo people who say they are Biafra. So if you don't tell them where they belong, if you allow them to a certain extent, they will begin to ask for allowance. It is like when they say, when you begin to dash somebody something all the time, always make them remember that you are doing it voluntarily. You just feel like. Because if you continue doing it, somewhere along the line, they will think it's their right. And all this while, having despised us, having tried to destroy us, they are not able. And now they are using another tactics. All of us are Igbo. All of us are Igbo. All of us are not Igbo. We knocked against you that you are a slave. It's not your making. Jaja of Opobo was a slave. But he was not a toxic among Ebani people. He was not a toxic to Ijaw community. That is why they appreciated him and allowed him to be a king, even when they know he came from Imo State. But if he did not know he was a slave, if he did not accept he was a slave, the history of this man would have been squashed and completely destroyed. And so you toxic slave people looking for validation in the umbrella of Igbo Biafra, we know that is your problem. Don't drag it further. You'll only create crisis and tension. And believe me, you will not win. And so Nigeria as a nation today have such mischievous individuals across board. They are the ones that are fighting to inherit what does not belong to them. They've become more sophisticated, that if the truth not be told, and that is where the Bible says, for the children of the world are wiser than the children of the kingdom. If care is not taken, they take everything from you. But all we have to do is to be as wise as the serpent, but as harmless as the Holy Spirit. It's in our nature already. It's simply being, know what the devil knows. But remember, you are not the devil. And so Igbo Biafra, looking for who to unite with. We know what you know, but just that we are not you. Accept it. You are a slave. And you have been able to control indigenous people within the Southeast. You converted all of them name, and today now, one child is teasing Igbo, Aibundi Igbo, Ungwaman Bonyi Igbo, Isiokpo man Bonyi Igbo, everybody is Onyi Igbo. And you know the game there. You know how did Igbo boom, all of a sudden Igbo boom. Who created it? The same way all of a sudden boom, Nigeria. Who created it? At least we know how Nigeria came. They have debated it over the year. And now for some reason we have accepted one Nigeria. And we are going to do all we can to sustain one Nigeria. But to sustain one Nigeria, we must know everybody's status quo. And so if we allow slaves to rule us, like the Opobo people allow Igbo slave from current-day Imo State to be their king, and nobody is complaining. Opobo people have great people. You have the Adamak. You have the so many families, the Brick families, so many of them, so many wealthy Opobo people. They have produced vice governor, many political relevant individuals. They are not bothered about it because nobody is looking for validation and nobody has become a toxic in the end. And so most of you who don't understand why I begin to call these people out, if you don't take time, servant will take over your father's property after your father is dead because they are the one that know this truth. Time will not permit me. I would have given you a story of a family where the security man take over the property at the death of the master because the children were small and the man was not very close to his family. And the only next of kin they have as a person was the gate man. He converted the children to slave, took over the man's assets and wealth until the children discover one day that they were actually the master of the house. And the servant has become the master with his children ruling over them. Don't let that happen to the next generation of our people. And so, like I said, we need to create a structure that enables us to call a spade a spade. I've been making this call for some time. For some reason, most of you are not seeing the mindset behind our project. But gradually, we will give you in-depth analysis of our position. Who they are, what they are, it's not of any concern to us. But trying to replace us is unacceptable. They are crossing the line. It is like the history of humanity to technology. And now we are creating robots to replace human. Let us pray that the artificial intelligence level of robotic will not take over human's life. Because we are crossing the border already. Of course, we are free moral agents. And when they talk about Armageddon, when they talk about the end time, if they miscalculate, if something they have not visaged happen, robots will control this world. And that will be the end of human, as you already know. We will wish to have our soul back. We will wish to become who we are and do away with the robot. It will be too late then. When you watch some apostolic film, you do not understand what they are trying to tell you. But you cross the rule, you cross the boundary. Somewhere, positive or negatively, somebody will bear the brunt. The people of the South, you must stand up. You are the major target of these Igbo Biafra people. These Igbo Biafra who say they come from Israel. They are correct. Some of them actually migrated from Israel, maybe slave. Some say Equatorial Guinea. They are not telling you that they come from Jamaica. They may be correct. But they have to also accept that they are not indigenous to Nigeria. Is that not fair enough? You come from every country in the world. Every country in Nigeria come from you. And then where do you come from? Let us know the part of the heaven you fall from. Maybe we'll find answer there. Don't let them deceive you. If you are interested in raising up a campaign against the expansionist agenda in our people, because the areas they are attacking in our society, you have no idea. And this is not a project one man can handle. This is not something I can do alone. In the presence of two or more witnesses, a matter is established. Some of you are on board already, but I'm sure you are not seeing where we are supposed to be heading to. Some of you are still interpreting it based on what you know. Believe me, what we know and what we are coming with, you have not been able to perceive it. Nobody has been able to perceive it. And certainly, this blueprint is already in the hand of those who know what is to be done. So even in our absence, it is a will that must be accomplished. And so to address the issue facing Nigeria as a sovereign nation, these people who are insecure from across board, they must address them. They must pay attention to them. And when this is done, everybody will live in peace forever. Most of you don't know that Satan and Christians live together. Satan comes in the midst of children of God. They coordinate themselves, know what they want to know, and move on. But majority of the children of God are ignorant. They are shouting, Satan, I bind you, morning to night. Even when it is obvious that you don't even need to waste your time with Satan. They are still doing it. Satan will bind you. Satan will bind you. You look at the book of Jude. It says when the archangel Gabriel confronted Satan, who came to take the body of Moses, he dare not use accusatory words against Satan, but rather say, the Lord rebuke you. And then he retrieved the body of Moses. If you look at the book of Job, he said when the sons of God were gathered, Satan was still among them. They didn't know Satan was among them. My brother, Satan don't enter our market square. If you are not open on our eye, when I go there for a side river, soap go enter on our eye. And of course, this is where I'll bring it to an end. I'll go to the comment section, receive 1 or 2 insults to boost my morale and prepare me for tomorrow's broadcast. So for those of you who have insult you have not released, try and drop it. I see my brother there, Francis Funa. Good morning. I greet you. Different Blackie. Good morning. I greet you. I see Daniel Onwara. Good morning. I greet you. And then I see Uyi. I greet all of you. Good morning. Of course, the Igbo Biafra people, we are still trying to find out where they come from. Once we are able to ascertain where they come from, and then they cannot decide if they still want to be in Nigeria, or maybe we begin to beg Nigeria, please, this group of one that say they are Igbo Biafra, let's give them some piece of land so that there can be peace. Let them stay in their own. Let's give them. Of course, we know everybody they call Igbo today are not Igbo. But this one who say they are Igbo, the problem they are having why their call for secession is not heard is because they don't want to go alone. They're looking for who to drag down. That's why they are intensifying the effort. This one is Igbo, this one is Igbo. Because they know that somewhere along the line, we will be submitting bills on the floor of the Senate that will enable them to go peacefully so that Nigerian can truly focus on building her capacity as a giant of Africa. Yes, I see my Baba Ifa, my personal person on the platform. Baba Ifa, I greet you. You see, Omo Yani, a true salute for you. I greet you, Baba Ifa, Ekaro. I see as a man. I greet you as a man. And so that is just it. So, Igbo Biafra people, believe me, we want to help you get your own country. But help yourself by leaving us alone. Help yourself. Those people you trap now who cannot open their mouth, they are still saying, we are Igbo, we are Igbo, we are Igbo. But you ridicule them. But when they talk, you kill them because you have become toxic. They will not go with you. We will help you. Don't worry. Don't worry. But until then, we will call a speed a speed. Slave coming out from nowhere to tell me, yes, you migrate from me. It's not your fault that you became a slave. It's just the system. But for you to take rights and power over the landlord, my brother, if you like, as a tenant, be richer than your landlord. You see, as far as you are in that man's property, my guy, you are a landlord, and no landlord is bigger than a tenant. You can have the mansion in America. If you are a tenant in my house, in my village, my dear, you remain a landlord. Respect it, accept it. It will not kill you. Because after all, you cannot carry your load, your house, and travel with it. This is where I bring the broadcast to an end. Of course, we're putting our eyes on them. Those of you from South, this is our platform. This is our project. Don't shy back. Don't wait for who will take it first. We are converging already. But the way we are going to come out, you will not see us. But you will feel our impact. Is it not from the uncompleted building? They will bear testament in the nearest future that from the uncompleted building, we upset the balance by way of exposing the hypocrisy of criminal-minded individuals who has become the clause in the wheel of progress of our dear nation, Nigeria. Just that I can't sing the new national anthem. If not, I would have sang it for Nigeria. But let's see if I can still remember 1 or 2 stanzas. Nigeria, we hail thee. Now that's I be rich, but I'm learning it. Have a nice day. Igbo Biafra, drop your insult. I will attend to you later.